Hello and welcome to my room tour. Before we get started, I just want to have a couple of disclaimers. First off, it's my first time making this kind of video, so if the audio or video quality isn't up to par, I apologize. I mainly wanted to make this video for fun, and I know a lot of my viewers want to see how my room looks like, how my collection looks like, where I watch anime, where I stream, where I play video games. But also keep in mind, I didn't start collecting seriously until a couple years ago, I'd say about 3 years ago. So some parts of my room or my collection might seem a bit lackluster, while others might seem a lot more developed. For example, I don't really collect any manga because I suffer from pretty bad OCD, and I feel like collecting manga will just negatively affect my mental health, so I'm just gonna avoid collecting manga at least for the foreseeable future. That, and it costs a lot to collect a lot of manga, so I'd rather not. What I do like collecting, however, include figures, keychains, plushies, tapestries, wallpapers, etc. Typically from the Fate Grand Order series or the Fate series in general, but I think at some point I'm going to expand further beyond just the Fate series. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this disclaimer. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and comment down below. Let me know what you think of my collection. Let's get on with the video. So starting off with the door area, when you enter, there's just a bunch of knickknacks here, nothing too important. But over to the left of the door, I do have a couple of anime posters. By a couple, I mean literally just two. There's really nothing going on in this wall besides these two posters, Demon Slayer, of course, and Parasite. One of my favorite animes right here. Wish I had more anime posters, but unfortunately, this is all I'm working with as far as posters go. Well, actually, above these are framed posters, one of them being a Yu-Gi-Oh! Art print. Really nice, showing Kaiba and Yugi facing off with their ace monsters, Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a huge part of my childhood and still a huge part of my life right now. And then over here is Monster Hunter World signed poster. My cousin actually got this for me at a PlayStation event, so shout out to him for getting this signed. Very nice. Monster Hunter World's probably one of my favorite games, if not probably my favorite game pound for pound. Definitely my favorite series for sure. So if you've never played Monster Hunter, then I do recommend giving it a try. Maybe start with World or Rise. And right below this poster is a couple of other Monster Hunter stuff, as you can see. Got Fatalis, one of the more iconic monsters, an Nendoroid here of one of the Guild Maidens, another Guild Maiden right here as well. Just showing off a little bit of Monster Hunter right here. So Monster Hunter, again, one of my favorite series for sure. Then from here is some more. Of course, Monster Hunter stuff. You can see some anime stuff, but we will get there. There is Rathalos, some Nendoroids up here as well. I might move these down just because they kind of are obscured, just because of how high up they are. I thought it would look a lot cooler up here, but I was kind of wrong. So I'll probably move these down at some point, but we'll see. And these figures are actually on top of a Gilgamesh storage box. This is from Prismalia. That's Kid Gil. I had to get this, and I had some White Swords booster boxes for Babylonia inside of here, as well as a couple other things, but nothing too much inside of here. From the right of this riveting door, we have some more other items here. I'll go through them little by little, but you guys could preview a little bit of the guild wall right there. You can see more Monster Hunter stuff, some of the video games that I grew up playing. I do not have my original games that I used to play, aka Unite, Freedom 2 for the PSP. Those are definitely the games that got me into Monster Hunter, but unfortunately I do not have my PSP or the original games on me at the moment. I think I lost them at some point when we moved, but I do have Try and every other game afterwards, so that's pretty cool. More Monster Hunter stuff here, featuring the twins from Monster Hunter Rise. And then above this cube is some Fate stuff. Now this is what I know what a lot of people are waiting for. This is the start of my Fate collection that you guys will see. I have the first 2 volumes of Fate Strange Fake, and then in the middle is the Fate Babylonia manga volume. It's number 14, as you see right there. And then there's a Fate Grand Order cup featuring Enkidu on the left, and then Castergil on the right. And then down here is the Babylonia Ending 2 CD set featuring Prover and Tell Me by Millet. Such a good cover, I had to get it just because of these two. Also really good songs. Definitely some of my favorite endings from Babylonia. And then there's like a chain right there just to put it all together. And to the left of this, some more Gilgamesh stuff. If it wasn't obvious, huge fan of the King of Heroes. Got Aya right here. The Aya keychain that just came out, I think last month. The Buster wristband. Then a Hala Ataraxia acrylic Gilgamesh showing off his beautiful sexy bod. And then like a light up device right there behind it, just to light it up a little bit, make it look a little bit nice. Above this, more Gil stuff. We got some Fate Grand Order Duel. Not sure if they're still continuing this game, but I do have the Fate Grand Order Duel figures. Some more Grand Order stuff to the left and the right, and in the middle, that's from Fate Zero. Actually, it's a plate featuring Gilgamesh's art from the first ending of Fate Zero, which is nice. Definitely one of the more iconic endings, in my opinion, to the Fate series, Memoria by Air Aoi. And then to the left and right, we have some White Day clear files featuring the King of Heroes, of course. And to the right of this cube is a Gilgamesh pillow. This is from Fate Extella, I believe. So I used to use this a lot on my bed and then on my couch, but then I decided to just move it here because I didn't really know what else to put in this cube, so why not, I guess? And then of course we got the duo themselves, Caster Gil and Kingu / Enkidu. I'm gonna probably call Kingu Enkidu for the rest of this video because I don't want to keep rotating their names around. I mean, they're essentially the same character at this point. I got their 2 Nesso berries and then both their corresponding finger puppets right there. And in the middle of these two is Siduri from Babylonia, of course. Gotta represent the Babylonia squad, you know what I'm saying? And then to the top left and right, we do have their SP cards from Weisswarts in a case and everything to protect it. So even if it falls down, which I don't think it will, it's been hanging up for a while now, it is up there protected just in case. So there you go. They're SP cards, which I think this one goes for like $100. And then this one, I think it's like probably like $150, $200, give or take. Then continuing on with the theme of these two, we do have an assortment of other items, Fate Grand Order Duel, a couple of glass cups, plushies. You know, everything is symmetrical to an extent. And in the middle, of course, is Archer Gil in all of his glory with the Babylonia diorama by Good Smile. I don't think it specifically says Babylonia or Mesopotamia, but it looks pretty much identical to what we see in the anime. And then above him is the Caster Gil figure arts figure. And then above that is the art board that we got for the world premiere of Babylonia a couple years ago. I got a Shikishi board up there, as well as a art tapestry that is above my light right there that corresponds to the Shikishi board. I also have a messenger bag down here that resembles Gilgamesh's tablet. Speaking of Gilgamesh's tablet, going back to the door area, I do have a replica of Gilgamesh's tablet right here that could actually open up. So if you guys want to check it out, I'm pretty sure this is used for cosplay, but I think you could probably put whatever you want in here. If I were ever to cosplay him, which I probably would never do that because I do not have that body necessary to cosplay the King of Heroes, but if I were to ever do that, I'd probably use this and then put like an iPad inside of it just so light emits from it. I think it would look pretty cool. And while we're here, might as well show the part I didn't show when I was showing off my closet area. I forgot to mention that's a closet over there. I do have a Gilgamesh and Kingu towel resting on the closet right here, so it fits pretty much perfectly. And before I show off more of my Gilgamesh stuff, let's go take a break and check out the workstation area. So this is pretty much where I stream, where I record videos, where I just chill, browse the internet, watch YouTube videos, edit, you know, the whole shebang. So I got a 3-monitor setup right here, got a Go XLR, a soundboard right here. This thing's really useful if you're an aspiring streamer and you could afford this. I recommend getting some kind of a soundboard. I recommend this one personally. I believe big YouTubers like Markiplier and such use a Go XLR. It's really handy device and really easy to use, really simple. And I guess while I'm at it, if you could afford a multi-monitor setup like mine, definitely recommend it, because once you go multi-monitor, you can never go back. I mean, let's be real. And my webcam's up here, and then behind my monitors, my main 2 monitors over here, is a platform where I put some miscellaneous anime figures. As you can see, I used to have a bunch of my Fate figures here, but now it's pretty much cleared and has a bunch of random figures. So I have a Inosuke piggy bank right here. This is actually my girlfriend's Levi popcorn figure. I would never put popcorn in there personally, but you know, you do you. And then we got the 3 main characters from Attack on Titan Nendoroids. Levi over here. This is actually also my girlfriend's figure as well. If you can't tell, she is a Levi fan through and through. And then some Higurashi figures, the Hanyu scale plus the Rena Nendoroid and a Rena acrylic down there. I know a lot of people, especially hardcore Higurashi fans, did not enjoy the latest seasons, aka Go and Sotsu. But I personally enjoyed it for the most part. I can see why people don't like them. Then over here to the left is Mami from the Madoka series, Papa Parade, as well as Nesoberry. Wish I had more figures of her and her Nendoroid and whatnot, but alas, I got into the series really hardcore only like a couple years ago, so by that point in time there wasn't really too many Mami figures in circulation, and all the ones I could find online are pretty expensive. Overall, this shelf over here, not really much going on. As you can see, there's not really a rhyme or reason or order or any kind of pattern going on here. Again, I used to have my fade figures here. For those of you guys who follow me on Twitter, you guys might remember I used to show off this shelf pretty often, but now it's just kind of random figures. I might reorganize at some point or just add more figures to make it look more full. As well as like the background, the backdrop is like, I wish I had posters or some kind of artboards to put up there. We'll see how it evolves over time. Here I have my headset hanging above here. By the way, if you guys didn't realize, this is kind of a bunk bed. It's called a loft bed that features a table in the bottom. Usually bunk beds is like a bed in the bottom and a bed on top. In this case, the loft bed has a table in the bottom and then the bed on the top. So this is where I sleep. I know sometimes when I stream, people always ask, what am I holding on to? I usually hold on to the railing. I don't know why. It's just something I do. Then I have my headset hanging from here, HyperX, as well as a old ass gaming chair that is sort of breaking apart. As you can see, not exactly the best quality at this point. I mean, I've had it for 5 years and just now it started tearing and everything, but definitely got to get a new chair at some point. I also have an Anime Expo pillow here, still very soft. Got that back in like 2017, 18 or something. Still very nice. And then this is what you guys usually see in the background of my videos. As you can see, we have the Mihoyo tapestry here. Got this at Book Off for like $5, and it was fresh out of when I got into Mihoyo when the English game came out, so glad I'm able to get something representing these two, the main two girls of Mihoyo. Now over here we got some Fate Grand Order stuff. Got this back at Fate Grand Order USA tour a couple years ago. And behind my chair over here, got some of my TCG stuff. Like I said, Yu-Gi-Oh is a big part of my childhood, so got my Yu-Gi-Oh deck, my main one, Galaxy Eyes. I play mainly like casual decks. I don't really play competitive like that, just because competitive get really costly, and then, you know, the ban list comes out, your deck is no longer viable or good, and then you got to move on to another deck. So I like to stick to my tier 2, tier 3 casual decks rather than like tier 1, tier 0, just so I could just update my deck over time. So I have my Galaxy Eyes here, OTK. I think a Time Lord deck somewhere here, Hieratics, a lot of Dragon decks really. I used to have a Blue Eyes deck, but even that deck got pretty expensive over time. And this is the Weiss Schwartz Babylonia playmat. I did play a little bit of Weiss Schwartz, but I mainly got the cards and the playmat for collection, not really for playing. I mainly play Yu-Gi-Oh, that's like my main thing. Weiss, I kind of got the hang of playing it, but I haven't played in a couple years. I might as well. I've never learned because I forgot how to play at this point. Yeah, so just have a bunch of deck boxes. This is actually my brother's deck box. This is Goblin Slayer featuring the main girl. But in here, I think it's my Rika deck. So Rikas are actually pretty good nowadays. So if you guys play Yu-Gi-Oh, you guys know Rikas are actually pretty damn good. But yeah, other than that, just a couple of Monster Hunter plushies scattered about, nothing too crazy. I also just got this phone case the other day from Boomslank. Link is in the description below if you want to check them out. They got a lot of original and very good art. So very high quality phone case here. They sell posters, tapestries, shirts, phone cases, as you can see, for Android and Apple devices. So if you want to check them out, you can get them in glossy or matte. I think this one is the matte design for the Ashura art, I believe. Very, very nice, very high quality print right here. And I'm partnered with them, so if you guys want to get a 10% off your order, go use the code THEMAINCHARACTER on your checkout and you guys will get 10% off. So not only will that support me and support them, it will also support you because it's easier on your wallet, and you also get a pretty kick-ass case out of it as well. So again, highly recommend checking them out. There's a lot of different designs out there, and we're not talking about the AI art. This is original artwork right here. So again, link is in the description below if you want to check them out. And then to cap off my work area for a little bit, up here I do have a signed Shikishi board by Sushio, who at the time was best known for the character designs for Kill la Kill. Got this back at Anime Expo 2016, and you might be wondering, who's that over there? I think I recognize Mako from Kill la Kill over there and Guts from Kill la Kill, but who's this over here? So this is actually me. I asked Sushio if he could draw me real quick, if that was possible, and he decided to draw me in the art style of, I believe, the ending 2 of Kill la Kill, so that was pretty cool. Everyone else was getting like a Kill la Kill original art from him, but I was a bit ballsy with it. I was like, you know what, can you draw me real quick? I don't know if that's disrespectful or anything, or a bit narcissistic, and that's why it says 2Jack, because that's my name. So there you go, just have this personalized piece by him. And above all this stuff is my collection of different Gilgamesh tapestries, towels, and whatnot. You can see I went pretty hard with the tapestries and towels. So we have Enkidu, Gilgamesh Merlin, Gilgamesh and Ozymandias looking hot as hell. Like, god damn, bro. Above this is a Gilgamesh Fate Grand Order towel featuring Archer Gil. And over to the left is Gilgamesh and Enkidu, Caster Gil I should say specifically, from Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. And then some more Babylonia stuff over here. Smaller tapestry, but still featuring the two boys. I believe that's Kingu rather than Enkidu, but whatever. And above this is a Caster Gil towel corresponding to the Archer Gil towel. Pretty much a similar design, but rather than Archer Gil, it's the Caster variant. And below this is another Fate Grand Order Babylonia tapestry right there. Above all this is a Type Moon Racing towel featuring, of course, the King of Heroes, if it wasn't obvious at this point. Big fan of the homie. Above that is a Fate Extella Link artboard that is really freaking big. I don't know if this camera's doing it any justice, but it's quite large. Couldn't really fit it in any wall that I wanted to put it in, so I just put it in the ceiling. It's like literally velcroed up there, so it's really nice. Nice outfit by Water Argo. Probably gonna put more next to this just so this one doesn't seem as empty. Trying to fill this entire ceiling up with different Gilgamesh knickknacks and whatnot. And then moving on from the tapestries and then going past the initial Gilgamesh and Enkidu collection we have over here, I do have a bit more Gil stuff. This one's featuring more of his dynamic with Saber. As you can see, I got a Gilgamesh Nendoroid here, a Saber Cheerleader Nendoroid here, some of their smaller Rio figures, and then their Figmas right there, as well as some acrylic sands right there. So, and just a quick disclaimer, because I know some people are gonna be like, why do you have Gilgamesh choking out Saber over here? Which you would probably do, but this is from the original anime. If you guys remember their final confrontation or final fight, this is like one of the last scenes. It's one of the few times we see Gilgamesh being wholesome, especially in the older series. You know, and nowadays we see him wholesome all the time in like Extra, Babylonia, Grand Order, whatnot. But back then, it's like one of the few scenes where he doesn't seem that big of an asshole. Just wanted to reenact that scene a little bit. Then above all this is a Gilgamesh and Saber tapestry from Fate Zero. Really nice. Puts everything together pretty much. Really like how this top part turned out. I wish I had more Saber stuff, but honestly this is fine as well. And then this is all resting on a IKEA glass case, and the first section features Caster Gil with some Enkidu / Kingu stuff. I also have my Y Swords Gilgamesh Kingu deck down there. Again, I don't really play, but I do have that because why not? As well as the Fate Grand Order USA Tour, I guess, bracelets, wristbands that we got a couple years ago. Decided to keep those. I know some people probably threw them away, but I wanted to keep mine for memorabilia purposes. Some rubber straps, some smaller figures, plushies, a artboard of that tapestry that I showed off earlier, and then of course the main piece of this section is this scale figure featuring Caster Gil. And behind him is actually from the Babylonia exhibition from Japan. I didn't attend it personally, but I did order this off of, I want to say, eBay or Mercari or something. And it features this art piece as well as a bookmark that's kind of obscured by Caster Gil a little bit there, but yeah. Below the Caster Gil section is a mini Archer Gil section. Doesn't feature really any figures at all, but it does feature a lot of keychains, acrylics, artboards, shikishi boards, clear files, You know, nothing too crazy, but this is where I put my etc. Archer stuff. You guys will see the main Archer stuff in a little bit. Below this section is the last section of this case, featuring like casual Gil from UBW, as well as some Kid Gil stuff and some Kotomina Kide stuff. I wish Kide had more items on him. I know he has a prize figure from Fate Zero, but I wasn't really into Fate at the time, so I was able to get the figure for cheap. Nowadays, if I were to look for the Kide prize figure, it goes for like a lot higher than it initially was, and I'm not sure if I'm willing to buy it at that price range. But I do have a couple of Heaven's Feel and Unlimited Blade Works stuff down here. Again, wish I had more items, and wish in general that they would release more Kide items, just because he's very iconic in the world of Fate, but he doesn't seem to get much love in terms of merchandise, which I don't personally get, but you know, it is what it is. I guess waifus sell more and hotness bandos sell way more as well. I'm not saying that Kide is ugly by any means, but you know, I guess people prefer people like Gilgamesh or Archer and Ku and whatnot. But yeah, so this is just a collection of a bunch of Kid Gil / casual Gil stuff that I got over the years. So this is what this whole case is all about, just different sections featuring different iterations, different versions of the King of Heroes. I usually play around and reorganize stuff quite a bit with my collection in general. And above all this stuff is another platform featuring another Gilgamesh figure, Gilgamesh plush over there, as well as the Gate of Babylon from the Nendoroid set. And behind him is actually a signed art board, or Shikishi board, by Seki Tomokazu himself, the voice actor, the Japanese voice actor of Gilgamesh. It was actually signed on my birthday. Technically, my birthday's in 12/28, but this signature was signed in Japan at 12/29. If you do the math with time zones, it's basically 12/28 where I live in the United States, so it's kind of signed in my birthday, but kind of not at the same time, but technicalities, you know what I mean? And above that is another Shikishi board with Archer Gil. So I have the Caster Gil Shikishi board to the left, and then this one's more focused on Archer Gil to the right. And speaking of Caster and Archer Gil, bam! We have a tapestry over here featuring Caster Gil and Archer Gil, and then Casual Gil over there to the right, with a bunch of prize figures, clear files, tapestries, plushies, etc. And you guys can see that at the left at this point, but over here in the middle of everything is my 1/4 scale Archer Gil figure. Look at that right there, and he is rotating. He has 2 quartz rotating with him in the opposite direction, and he is the centerpiece of my Gilgamesh collection right there, as you can see, in all of his glory. Really did not expect this figure to be this big. This is like my only 1/4 figure, and for some reason I didn't read the description or anything. I did not know he was this big. I only started collecting figures relatively recently, I want to say in the past 2-3 years. So when I got this bad boy, I was like, dang, he's gigantic, but it makes sense. He's the King of Heroes. Look at him in all of his glory. Yeah, it's really nice. And in front of him is a Babylonia acrylic that features some of the Babylonia squad. And you might be wondering, where is he on top of? Because we see that case down there. What is he on top of? Well, he's on top of my main D12 case, which features a bit more Enkidu and Gil. Again, that's a Kingu figure and a Kingu Nendoroid, but let's just not talk about that. But as you could see, I got a bit more Enkidu and Gil love right here in the first section. Some of their scales, some of their Nendoroids, Sanrio stuff as well. Really enjoyed organizing everything here. And I do play around and reorganize everything every now and then, but I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And in the back over there is the Fate Strange Fate clear file, just to make everything nice and uniform, so to speak. I noticed that a lot of Gilgamesh shrines and Gilgamesh collections out there don't really feature Enkidu like that, and I'm just like, yo, if you're gonna have a Gilgamesh shrine, you gotta feature his boy, you know what I mean? And I know Enkidu doesn't have a lot of merch, which is why you gotta cheat a little bit with the Kingu stuff, but still, you gotta feature them both together. Next section below this is the Caster Gil section, and there is a lot going on. We have some of his Caster Gil homies there from Babylonia, a raffle ticket from USA Tour behind this Figma, a couple of art pieces, art boards, clear files, Nendoroid. You know, just everything is going on here. A little bit of everything is going on here. So I also have the Babylonia Blu-ray set back there. I think it was like $100 each, which is pretty excessive, but Aniplex is known for their really pricey Blu-ray sets. But you know, Babylonia is one of my favorite anime ever, so I had to get the Blu-ray set. And of course, in the middle, I would be remiss not to mention the Castergil on his throne, just looking down at everyone, as he should. He is the king of heroes. And below this section of Castergil is Archergil. So we have a bunch of Archergil items here, featuring some of his Mochi Mochi plushies, other plushies over here, some of his figures from Extella. Got a swimsuit Extella figure over there. And then this figure, it's a really cute figure of him just playing around with some tigers. So really wholesome Gil stuff mixed in. We also have some Easter eggs here. I should have showed this earlier, but we have Ritsuko Fujimaru, who's like Gilgamesh's master in Grand Order. Not the Babylonia anime itself, but just in general in Grand Order. And then over here in the Archergil section, we have Kira in the middle there, big chillin'. We have Tokiomi back there, but he's like the, you know, the bitch made master, so we put him in the back. And then we have Hakunon over there, who's probably one of Gilgamesh's favorite masters, if not his favorite master in general. I'm still waiting for them to release some Teenage Shulk merch, who's the master of Gilgamesh in Fate Strange Fake. Can't wait to watch that, by the way. I used to have it so it was like a Gilgamesh and Ozymandias section, but Ozzy doesn't have a lot of merch that looked, you know, well with the Gil stuff that I had on hand. So I decided to say, you know what, screw it. If I'm gonna have a Castergil section, might as well have an Archergil section as well. So to cap off this detail with the Enkidu and Gilgamesh on the top, all the way in the bottom here is another Enkidu and Gilgamesh section. So usually with details, from what I've seen, people don't really like using the bottom for anything too expensive. So I decided to just use the bottom shelf for just inexpensive items. I mean, altogether it's probably really expensive, so I got two of their prize figures right here. As you can see, Castergil prize figure here, and then the Kingu prize figure over here. And a lot of rubber straps, acrylics, art boards, clear files, just the whole shebang. A little bit of everything. So again, everything is organized in such a way to be somewhat symmetrical. Castergil on the right, Kingu on the left, Enkidu on the left. We have a bit of Suduri in the middle. Just put everything together. So yeah, very nice. Shout out to my brother who got a bunch of Babylonia sets for his Ishtar and Erishgal stuff, and of course he handed me his Kingu and Enkidu stuff that he obviously did not need, Castergil stuff as well. Really enjoyed putting all this together. Makes every penny worth it in my opinion, just because it just looks really nice. So if it wasn't obvious, this is like the Gilgamesh wall of my room, and it doesn't really end there, even though this is like the main centerpiece of everything. I do have some Gilgamesh plushies here. I have the Fate Grand Order autographs that I got at Animex for, I believe, 2016, featuring Aiko Kawasumi, who's Saber's voice actress, Yosuke Shiokawa, who at the time was the creative director, as well as Atsuhiro Iwakami, producer at the time. Pretty cool to have that. Another Gilgamesh Fate Extella poster there. I already showed off this UBW Gil over here. And then we have the autographs up there for Aimer and Mashiro Ayano, who are the ones who sang the openings for UBW. We have Air Aoi, who sang the ending for Fate Zero, the first ending for Fate Zero, Memoria. She also did the first ending of Babylonia as well, so it was a nice little callback, and I'm glad I have her autograph because that's pretty sick. And then we have, I'll be honest, I'm not sure whose autographs these are, because my cousin just gave these to me because he didn't really want it anymore, and this is a Fate Zero autograph. I believe these are from people at Aniplex. It says Aniplex there, but I'll be honest, I don't know whose autographs these are. I just decided to put it up here because why not? It's pretty cool, I guess. And below here is some Gilgamesh plushies and pillows. Got the big jumbo Nesaberry for UBW Gil here. Babylonia pillow here. This is the one I got at Artist Alley at Anime Expo a couple years ago, featuring Gilgamesh. And this is a dream cushion, I believe that's what it's called. It's like a body pillow, but instead of being a full-blown Dakimakura body pillow, this one's in the shape of an L. So there's nothing in this section here. It's kind of obscured by this TV over here, featuring another Gilgamesh artwork. But this one I actually got recently. This is a very, very old item, released a couple years ago. I don't think they make these anymore. They make dream cushions anymore. But this was very expensive. I'm not even gonna tell you guys how expensive this was, but I was happy to find it in mint condition. It has a couple of scratches and stuff here and there, but for the most part it looks pretty good. And I didn't want to mess it up any further, so I just decided to turn it into a decorative piece for behind my TV with the rest of my Gilgamesh items. So yeah, that's like the main thing of my room, this Gilgamesh wall right here, with some Fate stuff over here on the right. And above this dream cushion is some Magi record stuff, Rip Magi record, Umaru with some Pokemon and Samus from Metroid stuff. There's really no rhyme or reason to the section. I just, just threw that in there. Hatsune Miku stuff, Monster Hunter stuff, and then Alduin from Skyrim up there. Skyrim being one of my favorite games along with Monster Hunter, so I had to feature him up here. Then over here to the right are a couple more autographs, but not really Fate related. We have an Overlord autograph there. I believe that's the author of Overlord. Autograph that. Some One Punch Man autographs here from the voice actors and producers. Both dub and sub voice actors for Saitama signed this. We have the Goblin Slayer autograph, I believe from the author as well. And then down here is my latest addition to this part of the wall, is the Man with a Mission autograph. Actually went to their concert the other day, so they've done quite a few bangers, so glad I went to their concert and got their autographs. So yeah, there you go. And below that is a Babylonia clear file, which I didn't know where to put that, so I just stuck it in there. But yeah, that kind of caps it off for this entire wall. So let me know what you guys think of this wall of my room. Pretty much takes 30% of my room over here. Well, actually, I neglected to show you guys this. So I have a Arquid Nendoroid here along with Neko Arc, looking at the Gil Shrine in envy. No offense to Arquid fans out there, I just thought it would be pretty funny to just have her there, just staring, wondering where her shrine is. I mean, there's probably somebody out there with a much, much bigger Arquid shrine out there than my Gilgamesh shrine, but it do be like that sometimes. I guess while I'm showing this part, I do have a couple of controllers for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5. I don't have a PlayStation 5, I just have the controller. My brother is the one with the PS5. Some Switch games here and there. My Nintendo Switch goes in there. Actually, this is my girlfriend's, but whatever. One of the Demon Pillars from Fate Grand Order. I just have it there, just big chillin', I guess. Excalibur, just in case I need to murk some fools. And then a bunch of other random games. I'm not really a huge gamer or manga collector or anything, so this is where all the miscellaneous items go. So I got some visual novels over here, some Pokemon games over here, and then some random magazines, maybe some manga sprinkled in there, just random stuff. And over here I do have a mini shrine to Bocchi the Rock over here, probably my favorite anime of last year. That might be a hot take, I'm not sure, because a lot of people are probably bigger fans of like Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, all that other big anime. But when I watched the first episode of Bocchi the Rock, back when nobody else was talking about it, I was like, yo, this is a sleeper anime. And as the weeks progressed and as the episodes came out, more and more people started watching it, and I was like, yo, I was right to watch this and think it was underrated, because now it's hella popular. So yeah, I just have a small section to this. And I'm usually not a big fan of these type of anime where it's like cute girls doing cute things, but I don't know, I related so much to Bocchi and her introvertness. I just really resonated really well with the story and the characters. Yeah, over here I have some Pokemon stuff. Pokemon a big part of my childhood as well. These are my favorite Pokemon, Gardevoir and Garchomp. It's really not much else to say. There's not really a section per se, I just have this here. And they're on top of my air purifier, as well as my Sage Sharingan figure from Fate Grand Order. This is my Alexa that's connected to all my lights in my room. And then some Rio figures down here. Some small Rio figures featuring Mashu, Gudako, and Uga Marie. And then below that is just a shelf. And I actually have this Gilgamesh and Enkidu Ita bag that I'm been working on. Gonna be wearing this to Anime Expo. I'm not sure if I'm done with it, but this is what I have so far. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ita bags, but it's essentially a bag with a display panel where you could feature some of your smaller merch and make something like this. Kind of like a Christmas tree that you hold around featuring your anime stuff, so why not? So that's what I have so far with these two. And that's pretty much it for the Gil and Enkidu stuff. I know you guys are probably tired, like where the waifus at? Where the Fate waifus at? I mean, say Shonen right here, and you had some Saber stuff over there as well. But where the Fate waifus at? All right, I understand, guys. And bam! So, if you thought the Gil shrine was crazy, this is pretty wild as well. I'll put a picture up of what this looked like about a year ago, and this is what it looks like now. So, I have a bunch of my favorite Fate characters here, mainly female, but some males sprinkled here and there. And god dog, man. So taking a step back, there's a couch here. This is where I usually chill and watch anime or play video games and whatnot. So I have a couch right there. I have the Mashu pillow here. I believe they still have this at Right Stuff Anime, but I got this at, I want to say Anime Expo a couple years ago. Got the Gudako right here. By the way, here's my laptop over here. It's the same background because it's connected via HDMI, but I have my laptop here for when I want to just browse the internet and not use my computer. So, and then I have the Musashi cushion here. Also have two more Musashi cushions there. So yeah, pretty crazy, I know. But let's go section by section so everyone's not overwhelmed. So starting with the left bottommost section is the Merlin slash just caster in general section. Didn't really know what to do with the section, but I had a lot of Merlin stuff lying around, so I was like, let's just make it a Merlin section featuring other casters from the series. So we have Nitocris, Waver, Proto Merlin, Tamamo, Chengang. We have a little bit of Scotty there. I know Scotty's a bit obscured. I mean, she's doesn't really have much merch, and I don't really want to buy her scale, but she's there. And then we have a couple of other figures. Caster Arturia, of course, in the top or on the top. So yeah, just have a bunch of Merlin stuff just lying around because, again, when me and my brother bought a bunch of Babylonia sets, mainly for his Ishtar and Erishgal stuff, and then mainly for my Enkidu slash Gilgamesh stuff, we, of course, understandably got a bunch of Merlin stuff, so I was like, alright, might as well make a section for him. Why not? I like Merlin, I guess. But this section is probably gonna evolve at some point and change into a more etc. waifu section. I might put like Kama stuff in there along with Morgan stuff. I don't want to make any more shrines for any more characters, so I'll probably just throw a bunch of different Fate characters in the section at some point. But for now, gotta show some appreciation to the caster servants, and I wish I could fit more caster stuff in here, but this is as much as I could afford to fit in. And then moving on from the caster section, we have Jack the Ripper, my daughter of Fate. I have most of her figures. I believe I'm only missing one official figure. It's her action figure, I'm pretty sure. But I do have her scales, her prize figures, her Nendoroids, some of her other smaller items. And she's just chilling here. Have her Shikishi board. Have Nursery Rhyme up here, who's like her best friend in Fate Grand Order, just chilling. And yeah, pretty happy with this section. I'm glad her figures are small because this shelf itself is pretty small in height. So yeah. Also I have Kama in the back there. I don't know if you guys can see her, but she's just over there wrapped with a quick wristband. Just because why not? So it does get pretty dusty here in general with these figures, just because it's an open shelf unlike a glass case. But I do take my time to clean these sections every now and then. I do have this brush here that I have down here, and I just brush my figures every other week or so just to make sure they stay clean. You know, these are very expensive stuff. Even the smaller items like the Nendoroids and even like the small acrylics, like you want to take good care of them because, you know, you don't want to use up hundreds and hundreds of dollars only to make them all dusty and sticky and disgusting. So Just gotta make sure, take care of your stuff, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of Jack, before we move on to the next section, I do have this gigantic, I guess, tapestry that I got from Book Off a couple of months ago. I didn't expect it to be this big, to be fair. I just saw it as it was folded up and then bought it. And then when I unfolded it up, I was like, oh shit, this is really quite big. So I just have it over my window as a sort of curtain kind of thing. So I think it looks nice though. But yeah, moving on from the Jack the Ripper section, I have my Musashi section, my favorite saber of choice in Fate Grand Order. Have most of her figures, her Figmas, her prize figures, her scales. The only figure I do not own is her Ichiban Kuji figure, which is another prize figure, but as you guys can see, I don't think I could fit her even if I had her. So I have two of her Nandoroids, her Summer Figma, as well as her Saber Figma. Really like how this turned out. Really like how most of my room turned out, so it's not a surprise that this one turned out pretty cool as well. And then above this is two Musashi cushions, as well as a Jack the Ripper and Nessa Berry wearing an Anime Expo hat. And if my usual viewers are watching, I just want to thank two particular people who donated $100 each back in my birthday at December 28th. You guys donated money that helped me buy this figure right here, the Saber Musashi figure, which I'm pretty sure is her first scale figure. I could be wrong, but I had all of her other figures except for this one, because at the time when this figure first came out, I wasn't really the biggest fan of her. But as time went on, I kind of regretted not getting that Saber figure. So shout out to Brandon and Lauren for donating money and helping me buy this figure. You guys didn't have to do that, but I definitely made the best use of you guys' cash by getting that figure finally. So thank you very much. So if you guys remember, I mentioned in my Gilgamesh shrine that I used to have Gilgamesh and Ozzy together in one section in my Detolf. And obviously that's not the case anymore, so I had to move my Ozzy stuff, and I think I moved into a pretty appropriate spot, which is on top of this lamp over here. So we have some of the Ozzy stuff here just basking in the light. We have a frame up there featuring an art work for the Camelot movie, and then some of his plushies as well as his figures. It just makes sense, you know, he's the embodiment of the sun. He is the pharaoh. He uses light as his main source of attacks, so it makes sense for him to be resting on top of here. And again, I know some of you guys are like, well, it probably gets really dusty up there. Again, I clean my figures pretty often, so I make sure that Ozzy doesn't get too dusty, even though he's out in the open like this. Then slightly below him is a smaller shrine featuring Kiara and Hans Christian Andersen. So we got a Kiara plush here, Kiara card here, a Hans Christian Andersen, Kiara in her, I believe, one of her anniversary outfits, and then this acrylic panel featuring these two. And I just have it here in front of the light, just so the artwork pops out a bit more. And then down here is just a bunch of chargers, remotes, have the brushes that I use for cleaning up my figures, and then we have this Kiara hanging rubber strap that I use to turn on and off the lights, as you could see. And before we get to the next section, there's the Ozymandias Nessa Berry here, along with his corresponding demon pillar hat. So he's just big chilling up there. We got a faux plushie here, along with Gerda, so Gerda and Faux could hop for the rest of the time. And then we have a Doomsday plush, which was originally my brother's plushie, but he didn't have space in his room anymore, so I was like, you know, I'll just take it off for you. Otherwise, I don't really know why he's here. And then we have a Hokusai Totosoma plushie up here, big chilling on top of the Doomsday plush. And speaking of Hokusai, the next section is pretty much a Hokusai section. Really like how this turned out. All the colors blend really well together. And the beautiful thing about Hokusai, or one of the many beautiful things about Hokusai, is that since the actual artist in real life is very popular, there's a lot of items like that bookmark in the back over there and this backdrop. You could just find those at random Japanese stores, and then you could use them as decorative pieces for your Hokusai Fate Grand Order shrine, like this chopsticks over here. These Hokusai chopsticks. They're not from the game or the series, but you know, Hokusai is such a popular figure that he just has a lot of merch lying around. So we have an artboard on this side, artboard on that side as well, featuring the summer craft essence, and then there's our summer version itself right there, the Saber swimsuit version. This one is probably my favorite figure, just objectively, just looking at the detail, looking at the craftsmanship. I just really like how this figure looks. Definitely one of my favorite figures, if not my favorite figure in general. Then you have the maid hokusai here, some of the smaller hokusai items, her noodle stopper, her nendroid, smaller items, some acrylics here. So yeah, this section just looks really nice. And the thing about hokusai, or the foreigners in general in Fate Grand Order, I love all the foreigners, so I had to make a mini foreigner section down here so that I have an additional hokusai, nendroid, and noodle stopper here, just so everything's nice and uniform. You have Abigail Williams in the middle. I didn't mean to make a Abigail Williams pseudo shrine, but I just had a bunch of her merch lying around, and she had another prize figure come out with her summer version, so I was like, you know what, why not make her a centerpiece of the foreigner shrine, just because she's like the original foreigner in the series, so why not have her be the main piece of the entire section. Then Yang Guofei is over here, which is gonna be pretty difficult now because she has a scale figure that's gonna be coming out relatively soon in the next couple of years, so might have to reorganize my shrine a little bit. I don't think her scale figure is gonna fit in here because I believe it's the same size as this hokusai figure here, and it's just not gonna fit in this one. So probably gonna have to do some reorganization in a couple years from now. So if it wasn't obvious, I had my favorite Saber / Berserker here, one of my favorite assassins here, everyone's favorite class of choice when it comes to support in Fate Grand Order here, the casters, my favorite rider here, Ozymandias, my favorite foreigner over here, Hokusai, my favorite class in general in Fate, the foreigners, and now for my favorite Fate Grand Order servant, not counting Gilgamesh because that's kind of cheating, so just talking about Fate Grand Order exclusive character. My favorite character is, of course, Shuten Doji. So this is my Shuten Doji section here. Got all of her scales so far, a bunch of her figures, her smaller stuff, plushies, artboard, some keychains, acrylics. Yeah, this is really nice. Got two of her nendroids here. One of them is pouring a thing of sake down the other one's sake cup. A couple of her wafer cards. And we can't have a Shuten shrine without featuring a little bit of Kintoki and her friend Ibaraki. Shuten, probably my favorite pound for pound Fate Grand Order servant. Really love her design. Her voice, of course, is immaculate. Love her character. She's really fun. And then over here a little bit to the left, hanging from my bed, is some more Shuten stuff. So I have this Shuten, I guess, tapestry over here. The other side features Ibaraki, but it's a bit too long and I didn't want it to obscure too much of the bed, so I just had the Shuten one popping out. We got the Hanjo Raita art book, who is the designer of Shuten Doji, as well as a couple other servants in Grand Order like Kintoki, Moriarty, Raiko, etc. So I had the art book here, framed and everything, as well as a tapestry, a really big tapestry. I have this framed as well because why not, of Shuten on top of Kintoki's back, his ripped back. So as you can see, I really love Shuten. Shuten is my favorite for sure. That pretty much caps off the Fate Grand Order section. So have my Gilgamesh wall and then have a smaller yet somehow more expensive Fate section featuring my couch area, bunch of shelves here and there, and then on top of everything, on top of the Aussie stuff, is some Fate Grand Order art pieces from over the years at USA Tour that I've collected. Just thought I'll feature that just to make sure I give some perspective on how everything looks together. As you can see, there you go. From the perspective, if you were sitting down, So there's the TV right there, and the Gilgamesh shrine is just big chillin'. So this video, for the most part, it's pretty much done. I've showed off 90% of my collection, if not like 99.9% of my collection, with this Fate Grand Order stuff over here, and then of course the Gilgamesh wall over here. But I have one more section to show you guys, which is on top of my bed. So I'm gonna have to climb my bed here. Here's the ladder going up, and I'll see you guys in just a bit. So right now I'm on top of my bed, and this is how everything looks from up here. So there's the carpet area, the tapestries, the towels. You guys might be wondering, why did I bring you guys up here? Is there anything too important up here? Well, this is my secret, I guess you could say, quote unquote secret shrine. Not really secret anymore because I'm about to show it to you guys. And it's still in the works. There's still a couple of stuff I want to buy, like tapestries, plushies, and other stuff of that nature. Pillows, cushions. But it's getting there, it's getting there. So over here, turning around, I do have my fan here for when things get too hot. And then I have a Blaha here, my Blaha pillow plush from IKEA. Nothing too crazy, just the meme shark. And then over here is my girl, my waifu, Tokisaki Kurumi from Data Live, who I'm gonna keep under this blanket because I don't know if I will get demonetized for showing too much of her stuff. But I do have a body pillow for her. It's double-sided. She's just big chilling here. And I don't have just one, but I have a second one here. I don't know if I could show the rest of her stuff down here because, again, I don't want to get demonetized or anything. But I don't just have two body pillows. In fact, I might get a third one, but my girlfriend might get mad at me. I have a tapestry up here, which when I'm lying down, where I need to lie down, this is what you see. So again, this is a loft bed, so this is literally the ceiling right here. And then I have this tapestry, this really big tapestry going all the way down the ceiling. If I wake up, I see her if I'm facing upwards. If I'm facing my right, I'll see her right here. If I'm facing left, I'll see her down here. So there you go. So I have a bunch of Kurumi stuff just surrounding me pretty much. And it doesn't end there. So over here, obscured by all the other stuff that's on top of the closet, is a mini Kurumi shrine. So I have her scale figure here rotating. I don't always have it rotating, but for the purpose of this video, I'll just have it in rotation. So I have her here chilling. I have the light novel featuring her over here. Her watch. A couple of her straps over there, her mouse pad, her Nendroid, and then a art piece featuring her as well, a Caraphile, so to speak. It's nice and framed. So consider you guys very lucky to be here to witness my sleeping area. I literally wake up to her every day. And yes, I said earlier, if you guys have been around this channel for a while, my girlfriend lives with me, so she sleeps here too, and she wakes up to her too. So I don't know, it's a pretty Chad move to have a girlfriend and your wife in the same area, you know what I'm saying? Then over to the left here, just a bunch of random plushies. Inosuke's just here, just like, why am I here? What is my purpose? But yeah, he's just chilling here. But for the most part, it is a Kurumi shrine. My bed itself is the shrine, featuring two body pillows, hugging pillows, a tapestry. I might put more tapestries across this wall over here. And then more tapestries, more art pieces over here. But we will see. But yeah, that was my room, my collection. So consider subscribing, hit that like button if you liked it. And comment down below, let me know what you think of my collection, my stuff, my figures, how everything is organized, how everything looks. Hopefully it's up to everyone's standard. If not, well, damn. Well, this is my room and my collection, so I could do whatever the hell I want. But hopefully you guys found it interesting, entertaining, or maybe even inspiring. Maybe you guys will start your own collections or start reorganizing, cleaning up. I'm not sure. My collection is still evolving, as you can see, so hopefully maybe a year from now I could do like an update video and really show off something I am 100% proud of. But for the most part, I'm pretty proud of how everything came out.